3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary. 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita.
Welcome to another special edition of Beyond the Ropes.
Spit it out. Let's do it right. Welcome to another BTR, baby. Welcome. Clear that throat, baby, because we are talking about some wrestling tonight. Get excited. Chug that beer. And be sure to hit that like and subscribe. Give it the Macho Man elbow drop. Give it the leg drop of Hulk Hogan, brother. Let's go. It's another wonderful night here, BTR. What's up, Randy?
What's going on, man? I mean, again, you're like you just said, we get to talk about a little bit of wrestling. And because we are in the WrestleMania season and we like to do little special things on Tuesdays to kind of coincide with what's going on in WrestleMania, we're going to have a little, I guess, a special talk about the streak, specifically Undertaker's WrestleMania streak.
Yes.
Right? There are 2 losses in his illustrious 25, 21, 22, 27 WrestleMania appearances. There are 2 losses in the 27 WrestleMania appearances, which is pretty fucking amazing and something none of us thought would ever end, but it did abruptly, to the amazement of every fan that was watching that night. Do you have I know we're gonna get into it here in a little bit, but I thought we go down the list and start at number 1 where his streak started or began, and then we'll spitball the names and the matches. And obviously Undertaker's the one who came out victorious in all of these, but we'll really discuss.
Have the list in front of you with everyone in there?
I have the list.
Okay, cool, because I have a list as well. And you know what? Shout out to those, if you have not looked and seen, there is a special website I like looking at, and I call it special because it takes a special wrestling fan or group of fans, depending on who put this together. Shout out to the SmackDownHotel.com. When I first used to look at when I first used to look at this website, it was a little buggy, had some issues. You know, you got some ads, all that good stuff, but they do a bang up job of just putting all kinds of wonderful wrestling information, not just for the WWE marks, but you've got AEW on there, you've got New Japan on there, you've got TNA on there. And they give you a lot of good background of a lot of things that are going on with the wrestlers. And this one, I just went to the search bar and I hit the streak. It just gives you so many articles of what you're looking for. And I've got the list here myself, itemized, everything, pictures of everyone they fought, of everyone Taker fought, and the WrestleManias attached to it. It's wonderful, and I can't wait to go over this list. Brought to you by the SmackDown Hotel.
SmackDown Hotel. Oh my God. Well, I'll let you kick it off at where the streak actually began.
WWF. Get the F out.
Get the
WrestleMania
F out.
7. Undertaker versus Jimmy Snuka. March 24th, 1991.
That is where the legendary streak began. And this is, I would say, where the legend of Undertaker started, right? Because he did debut at Survivor Series 91, and he attacked Jimmy Snuka. And now Jimmy Snuka tries to get his revenge on him at WrestleMania 7. So I don't know if you want to talk about this match or you just want to go through the list up until we get to the thing.
I think we can go through the list because I mean, I'm dude. You.
I know you don't know.
You love to make fun of the fact that my brain doesn't work all the damn time. I've been hitting the head too many times before in the past. let alone my senile old age, as you like to say it. I don't remember every match, every WrestleMania. I didn't have the chance to watch back all of them like I should have by this time. I mean, fuck, we're busy, dude. Shit happens, and we're looking in the future, not the past. But nonetheless, it's not a bad thing to get on the WWE Network for $9.99. Oh wait, that's the wrong thing, right?
Wrong plug. Wrong plug. You're thinking of the Peacock at this point.
Yeah, the Peacock is $4.99. Let's go.
There you go.
Where
But you know what?
you can play back these.
Today we're going to look on the rearview mirror, actually, right? We usually look to the future because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of wrestling, and this is a great time to be a wrestling fan. But today we're going to look at the rearview mirror and a legendary career. And like you said, like we started off with Jimmy Snuka, WrestleMania 7, 1991. But the next match, the next WrestleMania, he fought the legendary Jake the Snake Roberts. And that's at WrestleMania 8.
Ocho. The Ocho.
The Ocho, 1992. Who's number 3?
The Undertaker versus Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania 9. April 4th, 1993.
You know what? And this one's a little, I would say, not special, but this so happens to be in the same place that this year's WrestleMania is going to be at, and that's Las Vegas. And I actually liked this pay-per-view not because of the matches some of them were a little upsetting when Bret Hart lost to Yokozuna and Hulk Hogan came in and took the spotlight, but the way everything was presented, it looked like a Greek Roman at Caesar's Palace. Oh, yeah. It was a sight to see.
You know, you mentioned that right now. Do you think they may do a little homage this year, knowing that it's in Vegas with the whole season? Because I mean, is Caesar's Palace still a thing?
Caesar Palace is still a thing, but it's not. Okay. It's going to be at Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Oakland, or I would say Las Vegas Raiders. I was used to say Oakland Raiders, but Las Vegas Raiders. So, but you know what? It'd be pretty cool to pay a little homage to that because that was a very classic setting for WrestleMania. So, But number 4, WrestleMania 9, 1995, Undertaker defeats King Kong Bundy.
No. I just said WrestleMania 9. You didn't learn your Roman numerals in school, did you? That's WrestleMania 11.
I'm not smart. I'm not a smart man.
It's okay. Whenever I look at the Super Bowl, dare I talk about football on this podcast, right? But whenever I look at the Super Bowl letters, because I know we're like in the 50s right now.
XIVV1. Yeah. I have no idea.
Man, they fucked me up in the late 40s and stuff. I'm like, XL. Do I have to take off my shoe to count how many letters this one is? It confuses the shit out of me, dude.
And likewise. So you're right.
Yeah. I mean,
11.
I mean, that's great. That's great. That's great for those that can count in Greek. But last time I checked, I'm in the good old USA, brother.
This is America, okay? And if you don't like it, then you can get out.
And don't forget to drink Hulk Hogan. Real American beer, brother. Real
American hero.
That's Bud Light.
Well, we're gonna use that same thing for the Hulkster. But after that, WrestleMania 12 versus Big Daddy Cool Diesel.
Oh. Remember when they used to do the and you know that was Daddy Ben's always adding some kind of weird sound effect or some bullshit to their ring entrances and stuff. And they had a big old. You had to know he was a big rig, right?
Yeah, you know what? They got that shit over.
yeah. Because when he was a face, everyone was doing the pull the horn when you hear the horn blow.
It sounded like farts too.
Yeah.
Who's number 6 on this list, sir?
Now you're gonna make me count. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 0. WrestleMania 13. You know what? What is 13 in Roman numerals? Because they didn't put it on here.
Is it XIII? I think. I don't know.
Yes, it is. XIII, because next would be XIV. So yeah, they didn't do that. They just put 13, which is hilarious. March 23rd, 1997 versus Psycho Sid. And Psycho Sid was a champion. So Undertaker, in a no disqualification match, won the WWF Championship from Psycho Sid.
This was a title versus streak match for the championship. So pretty awesome. There's still an F in the world of wrestling in this situation. But number 7, he fights his long lost brother, WrestleMania 14
The
versus
first appearance of Kane.
Kane. Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Big thing because earlier this year he had Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels, where Kane made his debut and attacked him, and Undertaker in storyline found out that his brother Kane was actually alive and not dead. And he was brought out by his longtime manager and friend, Paul Bear. So
Wasn't Kane supposedly burned in a fire?
his family and him were supposed to have perished in a fire that Undertaker accidentally started, but somehow Kane managed to escape while his parents did not. And at this point in my life, I seriously thought they were brothers. I didn't know about kayfabe, brother. It was kayfabe.
right.
I swear to God, I thought they were real brothers. But hey, a great match, and this is not even halfway into the streak. So number
Shout
8.
shout out, Mayor Glenn Jacobs. I think he's still mayor, right? Or did he go for Congress?
I think he's Congress now.
There you go, Congressman. Shout out. Next one for 8-0, WrestleMania 15, Hell in a Cell match. Crazy enough that you mentioned it. The Undertaker versus Big Boss Man.
Was
1999.
Was this the match where he noosed him up, and the cage rose, and Big Boss Man was fucking dangling there, like one of them good old boys
From his feetsies.
His feetsies, yeah. So, I mean, at this time, Big Boss Man was a big fucking deal. He really was.
He was.
So great. And this is, I think, when the ministry broke up, or the corporate ministry. So this is where things were getting heated. And well, someone has to take the ass whooping. Lo and behold, Big Boss Man didn't get that ass whooping.
Big Boss Man was right there up in it. But that leads, since you're talking about the ministry, corporate ministry, that leads to your next WrestleMania, which is 17, or how they put it here, X7. 9-0. It's The Undertaker versus Triple H, April 1st, 2001.
One of the biggest, if not still the biggest currently, as far as fan favorites, not money wise, not numbers wise, as attendance and stuff. But number 17 had banger after banger after banger of matches. You had the TLC match. You had, what did you have? Rock versus Stone Cold. Like, there was a lot of big matches, and of course, everyone but except one person on this list really wants to work with Undertaker, and we'll get to that person lower in the list, But a great showing. This is where I think it's not the corporate anymore. Is this the Hunter, the Helmsley McMahon era, or it's not yet?
Wasn't this when Steph was with them?
I think they were still DX. It wasn't the Hunter McMahon era yet. It wasn't that just yet, but yeah, I think Stephanie was already with them at this point. And DX was hot. DX was hot, and the Undertaker was hot too. So we'll keep on going. Where Undertaker
rolling,
and we're gonna get into it because this is where Undertaker turns into the dead man, the biker, right? And
actually, it was 17 where he was the biker, because looking at the pictures, they shout out again to SmackDown Hotel. They have a picture of the Undertaker of what he looked like in those ones.
Oh,
so
nice.
when you're looking at 1, 2, and 3, it's the original Undertaker when he first came out. 4, they got him there with the purple. 5, he's there with no hat, more just the grimacing gloves, no hat taker. 5, 6, 7, 8 was the ministry, because he had the hair pulled back wet with the kind of the V thing going on in the hair kind of thing. He looked ministry, where he would hang people from his little crowd. When he hung, did he hang Stone Cold from his little emblem?
Stone Cold, and tried to get Stephanie McMahon. So
there you go. And now X7 was where they're going. They're going legit. Like, we're taking over all the shit. 2001 against Triple H, and this is where he's rolling. So now we keep going with the rolling, because I think he cuts his hair at 19. So, or it's just, he cut his hair at 19. So right now we're on 17 going to 18.
He fights one of the legendary wrestlers in this business, the 16-time world champion, currently holding the record for the most championships, Ric Flair. Woo! Um,
No DQ match.
This was a no DQ match. I remember that. I don't remember exactly the full match, but you were saying that he was in the biker era right now. So this must be. Is this Revolution time or not yet? Or Evolution? I mean, the year of the Evolution with.
I don't know off the top of my head. I may have to look that one up too. I don't remember when it was.
Well, regardless, this is the first one of his defenses outside of the States. This is in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in a no DQ match. So, I mean, who better to fight than Ric Flair? One of the greats. Especially where he could still go at this time. You know, this is 23 years ago. Ric Flair is he's still chucking and jiving and doing all the good stuff. So
yeah, he's still able to run around the ring crazy enough.
yes. Next one, WrestleMania 19. This is a handicap match, 2-on-1. A-Train and the Big Show versus the Undertaker, and the Undertaker pulls it off with a pinfall. So not a good match. I don't think the story had any real legs because I don't remember the team of Big Show and A-Train. I know they kind of tagged like once or twice, but I didn't realize it was something big enough to be at WrestleMania. So, but regardless, we revisit WrestleMania 20 at the Madison Square Garden in New York City. We revisit an old rivalry where he fights his brother once again, Kane. Do you have any recollection of this one? This is where, well, who else? I think this is a pretty big one, I believe.
Sorry, I'm still really trying to get information on Evolution because now you got me
Thinking.
yeah, for real.
Evolution is a mystery.
There you go.
Something.
They were part of the Raw brand from 2003 to 2005.
So this is the year right before.
As well as during 2007 and 2014. And it consisted of Triple H, Ric Flair, Batista, Randy Orton.
So he fought Ric Flair right before he joined, right before they started Evolution with Triple H. So he got him while he was, I think at this point, Ric Flair was a good guy then because he went heel when he joined Evolution. So
correct. So you're looking at 2003. So that would be, I guess, during WrestleMania 21, which is in 2005, and we'll get to that in a minute. So we're talking Big Show and A-Train versus Undertaker in a 2-on-1 handicap match. That's nuts.
Yeah. And then we have I already talked about that and the Kane one. You were just stuck reading, looking for Evolution.
Well, guess what? Here at WrestleMania 21, Undertaker's fighting the youngest member of Evolution, Randy Orton.
Randy Orton, a future legend. Legend killer
in his own right.
At this
right
moment.
Now,
yeah, legend killer at the moment.
14-time world champion.
He's inching his way. I hope he at least hits 16 He's got time. Well, hopefully, right?
If they give it to him, he's got time.
So hopefully, but a great match. I mean, up and coming star, 2005. Randy Orton's 20 years younger, a little immature, but one of the future greats, future Hall of Famers. First ballot Hall of Famer, really. And then
Randall Keith Orton, who's currently 44 years old. Yeah.
There you go. Phil's 24 years old. Man, what a fucking time to be alive. 24 years old and being able to fight the Undertaker. That's pretty badass. But
was he 24?
Yeah, it's 20 years ago. So he's 44.
Look at that.
Then we change it up. WrestleMania 22. Undertaker fights the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, in a casket match.
Man, we haven't heard about a casket match in a good while, too.
I know. It was what a great gimmick match to have at WrestleMania. Big spectacle, right? Mark Henry at this time was on a fucking rampage. He had just come back and won the World's Strongest Men tournament to prove that he still got it after all the people were talking shit. And what a great person to fight. What a great person to fight to test your strength, but the wrong person to fight around this time because Undertaker is on a hot streak, and he goes already at 13-0. He makes it 14-0 after taking out Mark Henry and putting him on the casket and closing that lid. Take the
In
next
old
two.
school style. Too bad he wasn't wearing the gloves at that time. That would have been hilarious.
Yeah, take the next two. Take the next two. 15 and 16.
15 and 16. Number 15 for the World Heavyweight Championship, WrestleMania 23 in 2007. The Undertaker versus Batista. And Batista at the time was the champ. And he defeated the champ and took back the World Heavyweight Championship. And he was not Biker Taker. He was just the Undertaker.
Nice, nice.
15 and 16. So apparently during that time between WrestleMania 23 and 24, he did lose the belt. So it probably had to been SummerSlam. Uh, so we're looking at WrestleMania 24. He went against Edge, who was the champion. And this was 2008, March 30th, 2008. The Undertaker versus champion, World Heavyweight Champion Edge. And Undertaker kept the streak alive and he won that belt.
You know what? And this is actually one of my favorite matches. This is a great match, and there have been stories, and you hear it on podcasts, and you've seen it on behind the scenes, where there's certain word from WWE from the Vault, where they actually wanted Edge to go over on him, and Ed said, "Why? The Undertaker, man. Like, this is bigger. The streak is bigger than the belt. It's
Yep.
bigger than the belt." And he declined to go over, which didn't go over well with Vince McMahon. But after they put on a phenomenal match, Vince McMahon's like, okay, we made the right decision. And we kept the streak going.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is the next match, and I'll talk about the next two matches, and we can definitely discuss these. Shawn Michaels makes his return. And this is the first of two matches they had at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels versus The Undertaker in Houston. So two Texas guys who came up in the system, who grew up together, pretty much their careers really took off in WWF and in going into WWE. And what a fucking hell of a first match between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Two Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so good, they decided to run it back at WrestleMania 26. Let them run it back. With on, and in the second match, the second time they met up, two of the greatest entrances I've seen. Badass, light versus dark, good versus evil.
I was gonna say this is the one where he came out all in white, right?
Yes. And this is and Shawn Michaels had already come back after leaving for his injuries and his whatever his shit was going through, and he came back a God-fearing man, and he was very Jesus oriented. And Undertaker's like, I'm gonna take your soul, and Shawn Michaels like, son.
Oh Lord, here we go.
God's got my soul.
That's right.
But unfortunately for Shawn Michaels, 2 years in a row, Undertaker dug that hole and put him in it.
Before you premise the loss, don't forget to add in there. This was a no DQ match, and it was streak versus career. If Michael loses, he retires from in-ring competition. So that's exactly what the Undertaker did. Was he buried him from ever competing ever again?
He buried him so hard, Shawn Michaels' eyes went two different directions, baby. Woo!
Oh man!
But you know what? This started a feud with Shawn Michaels' longtime friend and cohort in the DX, where you can take the next two, but it's Triple H.
Yep.
So let's get into those. Number 19, the streak continues at 18-0.
So this is WrestleMania 27 in a no holds barred match. Undertaker versus Triple H, streak on the line. And he did take it from Triple H, where it ended up becoming 19-0. This is number 19.
And we have another situation where it's so good, you got to run it back.
Run it back. We're just going to have to come up with either a drop, or we're just going to have to come up with another episode, and we're just going to call it Run It Back, or even a spot that we're just going to bring in, because guess what? Every time there's something good, it's so good, you got to run it back.
But this is a different match, another gimmick match. This is a Hell in a Cell match with special guest referee Shawn Michaels.
You're talking about WrestleMania 28 and 2012? Is this what we're talking about now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The one we're running back?
We're running back.
End of an era. Hell in a Cell match. Special guest referee Shawn Michaels.
if you haven't had a chance to watch this match, you have to run it back or watch it back, I should say. Keep on saying run it back, right?
Run it back, watch it back, get on the WWE Network and check it out.
Yeah, and this one right here, Shawn Michaels gets a little riled up and tries to take out Undertaker and super kicks his damn head off.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? It's not the
The
year.
Undertaker always rises.
Yeah, it's not the year. Dead Man comes back up, takes out Triple H with not only the last ride, but brings back the tombstone to make sure that it's over. And the three men, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, and Undertaker, they walk up that ramp and it's out of a sign of respect, right? Because they put each other through hell. These are in this point in this era, these guys are grizzled, man. They've already put in the time. Undertaker's already slowly making just that 1 year appearance for WrestleMania and the lead ups, maybe a couple of weeks before to the lead ups to build up a story. Mm-hmm. Shawn Michaels is already retired, and Triple H is nearing the end of also his career, getting pretty close.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Now we discuss Mr. Fernando's favorite
29
wrestler. And I'm going to premise this. I'm going to premise this real quick. Wait. I'm premise this with the one guy who, and he has his reasons, didn't feel like he didn't want this match. He wanted a title match. And he felt like he deserved it. And he probably did, especially at the time when he was hot. He was hot, but he didn't see this as a good consolation prize, and that's what he said. It was a consolation prize, which anyone would die for this spot with the Undertaker, but knowing that he was going to lose and was taking himself out of the title picture wasn't something he was okay with.
Before you even pepper in the bullshit that you're giving everybody that's watching right now, it's not just the fact that it was a gimme to fight the Taker for the streak. What happened earlier this year in 2013, in the year 2013? What happened at Royal Rumble? The premise to Royal Rumble, right before happening, he was the champion, and he was fighting everyone's favorite, The Rock, where they had the infamous promo. I still love that promo. You have your, what do you say? Your, was it your throwing your elbow pad and your, what's the Rock stick? All the things of the Rock stick where he's like, you have your la, 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 la. You can smell it all you want, you can do all you want, but when it finally comes down to brass tacks, your arms aren't long enough to box with God. Still love that fucking promo. Still love it.
He says you're punching up, but your arms are too short to hit a god or hit the guy or something like that.
Your arms are too short to box with God. Get it right.
Yeah.
Yes,
but right. This is.
Hold on. Like I said, you're gonna pepper your bullshit. But what I'm saying is that Punk was the champ, and he was supposed to go into WrestleMania as a champ, so he has his main event to fight that. But the powers that be, being Mr. Vinnie Mac, did not want that, and The Rock did beat CM Punk at Royal Rumble. And that's when The Rock introduced his new title, which was the scratch logo WWE champion that switched out the spinner belt to the new belt.
Yeah.
And that's when they started introducing side plates a bit later.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Where we see those now with the belt with the belts that we have now. And CM Punk should have gone to Mania with that, but powers that be, no. Vince wanted Rock to win it to get Rock to sell over this new belt. Punk could have sold it too, but Vince McMahon has no faith in CM Punk, so that's why it went the way it did. And then here we are going further, and they said, you know what, consolation prize, fight the Undertaker. Give me your best Teddy Long impression. Player. You're gonna fight the Undertaker.
You're about to go one-on-one with the Undertaker.
There you go.
But you know what?
One-on-one with the Undertaker.
And I wasn't gonna pepper in bullshit because this is a big momentum. Like, this is a big shift because this is the last year that you see CM Punk for 10 years. This is where it and this is an era where there was championship rematch clauses, and he never got his.
Nope.
He never got his, and he was supposed to get it at Mania, and after he was given a consolation prize, which isn't really a consolation prize against the Undertaker, but still, it's not the World Championship or World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE Championship, whatever it was called at that point. Um, it's just it's not the ideal situation. They still have a,
No,
a fantastic match.
it was the WWE Championship
Okay.
because they still had the World Heavyweight. Because remember, at one point, Cena had the WWE Championship, Randy Orton had the World Heavyweight, and they wanted to put them together, and they both hung from the
Yeah, but so I mean, this is a big momentous occasion because one, Undertaker streak continues. CM Punk leaves the company. New belts introduced. People get fucked over, and this is a new era, the PG era, where wrestling does take a big nosedive in this time frame, where wrestling wasn't cool for a while. Still watched it, but a lot of stories didn't go anywhere, and CM Punk is one of them that never went anywhere. Where it kind of just the powers that be just didn't let things happen or play out the way it should have played out.
Mm-hmm.
But now we get into it, right? WrestleMania 30, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar with special advocate Paul Heyman. This match, I've heard from.
Before that, you forgot to bring out that CM Punk had Paul Heyman with him for WrestleMania 29 because they even came out with the urn.
I don't remember
Remember
that.
they
I
were
don't
taunting
remember
him with
that.
that. He came out with the urn. They had they had Paul Bearer's urn for the Undertaker. They brought that shit out as a prop, and he was tossing it around and everything.
I don't remember that shit. I gotta go back on Peacock and watch that match.
Mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm.
but
But anyway,
but we lead into WrestleMania 30.
the
Like I said,
Phenom versus the Beast.
Phenom versus the Beast. Brock Lesnar comes back after being gone for a while in his UFC stint, where he was a heavyweight champion. He comes back, and lo and behold, he's gonna fight the Undertaker. But this is an interesting match because if you watch the Last Ride, the Undertaker's little documentary, like he said, and I'm in numerous podcasts, he was going over.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to go over, and he found out the morning of WrestleMania that Vince McMahon had changed up the plans, and it was a little everyone's a little dumbfounded because Brock didn't need the push,
No.
and Undertaker has said that Vince McMahon said, well, if not him, then who or when? Right? Because they're assuming that Undertaker, because at this point Undertaker's only making appearances only during WrestleMania and maybe special appearances randomly throughout the year. He wasn't an active roster. He was a part timer like Brock Lesnar is, and he only came out for WrestleMania season. I think usually starting at Royal Rumble. But again, it's just, did he need it? Did Brock Lesnar need it? Absolutely not. But they had a fight. Brock Lesnar hit him with 3 F5s, I believe, a bunch of German suplexes, and he beat Undertaker to the shock of everyone. And that meme of that dude with his eyes bug-eyed and his hands on his head, shocked. And this is the year. This is the year it happened.
Okay, let's try this again without all your run-on sentences. Let's pause this here. So the reason why I say it, because if I wanted to cut and clip you right here to put you on a thing, I've got too much. I got that. Now let's hear it out. You got to bring some emphasis on how big of a bet this fucking was. After everything that Brock did to Taker could not sit up anymore. After everything Brock did to Taker, he pinned him 1, 2, 3. Did the music hit afterwards? No, it did not.
Mm-mm.
Was there any announcement that he won? There was none right away. What did they do? They had all the cameras set up to look at everyone in the crowd. You got to paint this fucking picture. Fuck that bug-eyed motherfucker. Paint the picture of everyone in that damn stadium. They put the fucking cameras on. It was stunned silence for at least a good maybe 10 seconds, which is uncanny in TV because you think about TV, more than 5 seconds of dead air, and guess what? You have producers and directors scrambling. change to this, do this. You got to look on something else or get someone to talk or give somebody a mic. No, it was just stunned silence. Even the announcers didn't say a fucking word because no one could believe it.
I think
Everyone's like, what?
they didn't even announce it until the streak popped up on the Titantron,
Correct.
21-1.
Correct. Correct. No one said a fucking word, and everyone was like, "What?" There was no applause. There was no one screaming. It was just kind of dead silence for just a good handful of seconds, and that silence screams so much. What the fuck did we just watch? What happened here? And yes, that impact shook wrestling, shook it.
Now,
That's how you do it.
do you shut up? Do you
Give the
think?
emphasis.
Do you think now, all these years later, and everything we know about wrestling, everything we know about the streak, and Undertaker did fight a couple of more matches, and we'll talk about it. But given
Yeah.
all of this, and everyone said it, that Brock didn't need it. You think it was the right decision now, knowing what you know now? Like, do you think it was
Yeah.
a good decision at the time?
I back it up. I mean, I was one of those that was dumbfounded and like, no fucking way, no way this happened, no way, no, no. I now that we see what it did for Brock and how he continued with Paul Heyman, won championships, was the Beast incarnate, going through everything. It was perfect, and it also still gave Undertaker that even though it was lackluster the couple of WrestleManias afterwards because it's like doesn't matter if you win again, you're starting over, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, you're just adding on to the number you already have, of course. But you can tell it's like they should have just left it alone. They should have just left Undertaker. If you want to win one more to put on your belt, great. But it just that killed it right then and there. But it didn't kill Brock or his momentum, and he went over hard. He went over hard, heel, and then just turned face instantly. Where he was that tweener. It didn't matter. He didn't want to be a face, but everyone just loved seeing him come out. Stadiums would erupt every time they would anywhere he was going, any Raw or SmackDown he was on, belt or not. He would just come and throw in his carnage, and everyone just loved it and cheered for him. So yeah, it did wonders for Brock. Sucks for Undertaker that he lost it, but I mean, fuck, he's already been doing it for how long? You got to call your shot. Eventually, say, you know what, I'm getting ready to let it go. The streak's got to end.
Yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean, I think Paul Heyman said it also before. He said Brock Lesnar wasn't happy with that decision either. But
mhm,
after talking to Undertaker right before the match and him telling them, dude, you're the fucking man. This is
mhm,
your time. Make the most of it, right? You have
yep,
to make the most of it now because, like you said, shock the system, right? Shock the
exactly.
wrestling world. Shock the wrestling world. And leading up after this, we'll talk a little bit about Brock because he had a match with John Cena, and even John Cena told him, dude, we can't have a fight. I think it was like at SummerSlam. We can't have a fight. You have to destroy me, or when you beat the Undertaker, it meant nothing. If you don't destroy
Hmm.
me now, after you just beat the Undertaker streak, then everything that he did for the 21 years prior, 21 WrestleManias, is gone. You have
So
to.
think about everything that we've just talked about. Would it made sense looking at the WrestleMania before this for CM Punk to take that?
It could have catapulted CM Punk. It really could have. He already had. He
I
was a people's champ. Let's be realistic. He was a people's
true.
champ. If he had gone over, especially holding the belt, right? So it should have been a championship match, and he fought the. This is pretend that he had the championship match.
Hmm.
Undertaker won the Royal Rumble, or the Royal Rumble picked John Cena, whoever had the World Heavyweight Championship belt, and they had a match. Not only CM Punk being the champion, but getting over on the Undertaker would have catapulted him to next levels. And I mean, granted, he was already there, and he's been there, and he's far preceded everything after. But how much faster? What would the landscape look? How different would the landscape have looked if CM Punk never left WWE or wrestling in general? So it could have been also a different kind of game changer for both those dudes, for
Hmm.
Undertaker and CM Punk, because CM Punk was truly a young guy at that moment.
Hmm.
Like he was in his prime, and all this getting fucked over was so bad that he took 10 years off of wrestling Like you know how fucked up how mad or how petty or just angry you have to be to just say fuck wrestling. You fucking made me hate wrestling.
But
So
on top of that, it's not just 10 years of hate. He also had injuries that he was still dealing with that the medical staff wasn't properly diagnosing, that he did publicly put out there. And on top of that, he did try to go take his hand. And I know everybody makes fun of me when I talk about when
see,
it's been said, because he had to lose. He had his own streak of losses in UFC. You know, good old buddy Bobby, R.I.P. Big Dog, would love to talk shit. Hey, Fern, your boy Punk sucks in UFC. Hey, Fern, your boy Punk sucks in UFC. Hey, but you know what? He gave it a good go. You don't know what you got until you put yourself out there. It's not everyone's fucking game. So the hate was also with those losses as well. So it was a cultivated of things, and he took time off to do some shit. But you got to thank Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, the EVPs for bringing him back in 10 years later, because now we have him running amok,
you're about to
pissing
see him.
everybody off and
You're about to
everyone
see
loving
him
him
main
again.
event WrestleMania this year, night
You
one.
damn right. You damn right. Main event with the big dog Roman Reigns and Seth freaking Rollins, and I'll call him little big dog because he ain't my tribal chief.
He ain't my tribal chief, and I'm gonna call Seth Rollins the revolutionary,
There you
the
go.
architect. I want him to
All right.
bring back that shit. And again, all this stuff it really just leads into what's going on in WrestleMania. And you're right, like there was 5 more matches the Undertaker had after this, but they were just truly to raise the streak. And he did suffer another loss in the no holds bar match against a guy who
But
probably
let, let, let,
needed
let's not
time.
get there yet. I want to bring out those 5 matches just so we could see where it was going or how it was going from there. Following that WrestleMania 30 loss, his first match back in WrestleMania was against Bray Wyatt. WrestleMania 31, Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt.
Wasn't this like
Under
almost like a squash match? Was it a
No,
squash match?
no, it went a little bit. It did go a little bit because you did see some classic Bray where he was doing his upside down crab thing. Taker sit up, he's doing the crab thing in the corner, kind of nonsense, and it was a good seeing the the past phenom versus what could have been the future phenom right then and there. And I honestly think if Taker let Bray, if he put Bray over, it would have been kudos for Bray. It would have pushed Bray up, and Taker could have rode off in the sunset and be like, you know what? Yeah, I should have stayed home from the last one, but he didn't. He beat Bray Wyatt. So Taker put another one under the belt. 22 is now under the belt. 22 on one.
I
But then,
think you talk about Bray Wyatt. I think you're right. Like the future, see the past looking at the future, and it would have done wonders for Bray Wyatt because everyone talks about Bray Wyatt's ingenuity and the stuff that no one else was doing, and the way he thought, and the way he thought out promos and how to build a character. It really was like that. That was the next version of the Dead Man, the Phenom, the cult leader, whatever you want to call him. Like I think you're right. It would have done wonders for him specifically. But everyone has to lose, and it did wonders for Brock Lesnar. So
hmm it did. And then we go on to WrestleMania 32. It is a Hell in a Cell match of The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon. If McMahon wins, he gets full control of Raw, and Undertaker will no longer compete at WrestleMania. Big stakes.
mistakes. Hey, and you get someone crazy like Shane McMahon who's willing to put his body at risk at
Think
any
about it.
moment.
Think about it. If you're putting Shane McMahon in a WrestleMania match, he wants to jump off of something like Jeff Hardy. He was a big fan of Jeff Hardy. He's a big fan of the ECW stuff. He wanted to do something fucking crazy, and he did. He jumped off the deck. He got thrown off the Hell in a Cell. Well, not from
He
the
jumped
very
off.
top, but
He jumped off. He got pushed off when he was climbing up, and then he did an elbow
yeah,
drop, and Undertaker moved out of the way, and he just hit that table.
he hit that table. That's so stupid. 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 But then we go on to WrestleMania 33, the no holds barred match that you wanted to talk about, where it's the Undertaker versus the Big Dog Roman
Big
Reigns.
dog. This is number 2. This is the second loss he suffers, and I think again you're hearing back on his documentary and all the podcasts he does, and even on his podcast where he said he really would have hoped to have given it to Bray or Roman Reigns, but at that point losing for number 2, the second loss, didn't do as much of what it could have done if it was the first one, but also because Vince McMahon was shoving the big dog down your throat, it just didn't line up.
Yes.
It just didn't line up, and it wouldn't have made it. It would have made sense, but it wouldn't have made sense the way because Roman Reigns wasn't getting over. Maybe that would have been the start of Roman Reigns' heel turn a lot sooner. But you know, a good thing sometimes good things you have to wait for, and you know him turning heel later on definitely did wonders for his career. But I don't think it would have worked the same way if he had lost at that
Would
beating.
it have not been awesome to see Roman Reigns go behind Undertaker with the ref down and just right up his nutsack
Yeah.
from underneath and just
That would have been
wouldn't that have not been amazing heel turn right then and there?
if
And to get
if
that win.
ever yeah if ever there was a heel turn to be made, it would have been against Undertaker for a streak for sure, for sure.
Playing dirty on top of that. Playing
Yeah.
dirty. You can't just oh he wins and that's it. No, you got to do some dirty shit and there's no better dirty shit than that under the cup. Let's just hit him in the balls. That would have been awesome.
Mhm.
After that, WrestleMania 34, Undertaker versus John Cena, 2018.
This was
Undertaker came out on top.
wasn't this a squash match because John Cena was in the crowd hanging out and they said they needed an opponent for Undertaker and he kind of got into the ring. Was that year? I believe,
Yep.
right? Again,
Mhm.
this is the point where John Cena is he's not a part timer, but he's pretty damn close to a part timer, and so is the Undertaker.
Correct.
And this is more of a nostalgia thing, right? This generation's man got top guy and yesteryear's top guy and the Undertaker. So,
Yep.
and then I think we get a very unique match in a
Unique.
theatrical
Yep.
match. The theatrical match versus AJ Styles WrestleMania 36.
This
the
is
Boneyard.
during the COVID era
The
of
pandemic,
WWE.
yeah, the
The
pandemic
pandemic
era.
era of wrestling, which was a horrible year and change for what we had to deal with. Everyone staying home, everybody no contact. But it was The Undertaker versus AJ Styles in the cinematic Boneyard match. Thank you, Matt Hardy, for the wonderful, illustrious cinematic photography match styles that everybody wanted to copy. But it did justice for Undertaker, knowing the fact that he couldn't wrestle like that, like he did 25 years ago, 27 years ago. You think about it, he's 25 and 2 after this match. So 27 WrestleManias, not and including a few years before and after, give or take, of what wrestling. So wow,
Yeah, yeah. And I
wow.
think you know a blessing in disguise. It is a pandemic era. He gets to do a theatrical match because although people would love to say what could have been, it could have been a shitty match because he had some pretty shitty matches in overseas at Crown Jewel with Goldberg or him and
Hmm.
Kane versus DX. Like it just didn't hit. I'm
Those did
sure he
not
wanted to
go
redeem.
over.
He wanted to redeem himself but again, he's at this point he's just not the man he is 25 years ago when the streak started, or 27 years ago when the streak started. So I mean, I think a blessing in disguise because he got to go out. This is his last WrestleMania match, and he gets to go out as a winner in a very creative way, right?
Hmm.
Like, so I mean, this is WrestleMania
We
season.
got to see his last ride on that motorcycle. One more time out, taken off after he put AJ in that grave that was made, that was dug out for him.
Yeah,
Because originally you thought, I would have thought, oh, well, they're gonna bury Undertaker. And here's the thing. Before we close this out, because I'm
I
gonna
already know
give
what you're
you
gonna say.
what am I gonna say? Tell me.
Isn't this motherfucker supposed to see the lights on his last match and he's supposed to lose like you said last time?
And that's exactly right.
I already
When
know.
Mr. Vinnie Mac himself, BMK, BKM, right? Vincent Kennedy McMahon was in charge. Any person that was trying to retire, quit, leave, always had to lose and put someone else over, no matter who the case was. So why didn't it happen here, Randall?
I think
Why didn't it happen
I
here?
think because it was a pandemic. I think that's. I mean, if this is truly Undertaker's last match, he doesn't really wrestle if at all Like you could just, and I don't think it would have made sense for him to lose in this type of match. Maybe if it was like a match that you saw where they had the Thunderdome, or they didn't even have the screens yet at that time in a dead arena, it wouldn't have been the same. Even if he
Okay.
won in that type of match, it just wouldn't have been the same. So again, I think if Undertaker had another match, I think he might have lost. I think he truly would have lost.
So let's try this again, Randy. Why was it that the Undertaker didn't lose? The reason why is because Vince had his head so far up Undertaker's ass, he had a peephole through his belly button to see where he was walking because he loved Undertaker that much that he didn't let him lose like the rest of the other people that have lost to go out
That is
the
your
way they
opinion,
were
sir.
supposed to
That
go.
is your opinion, sir.
That is
And
the
and, and,
truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
that is your
So
truth.
help me, WrestleMania.
That is your truth. But again,
That is incorrect.
that is your truth. Again, doesn't
No,
matter.
they let the Undertaker win on a high mark, which is stupid. And that's Vince McMahon. Like I said, Vince McMahon only had love for how many of his wrestlers like that? Not many.
Not
Not
many.
many. Not many. If all the mess that happened behind the scenes to where he was still here, do you think John Cena would be doing what he's doing right now? Nope.
What do you think would have been happening?
Nope. He would be there and doing something else, or he may not be in the capacity of doing it, but he wouldn't be doing what he's doing right now.
I mean, I can kind of agree because he did bring Cody Rhodes and he was pushing him. So, I mean, Vince McMahon's the one who gave the push to Cody, realistically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Vince McMahon's final years in the company. So, but again, I don't know. Obviously, times evolve, wrestling evolves, and here we are. We're in a great time to be a wrestling fan, right? A lot of wrestling,
Yep. There is a lot of wrestling.
and again, a lot of blessings in disguise. Undertaker goes out, champ, big explosion, last ride off in the sunset in his motorcycle, and now he gets to make special appearances. He did do a run in last year and Cody Rhodes match versus Roman Reigns, and he chokeslammed The Rock. Another long time rivalry. So
And here he is as one of the what is it, guest hosts or
he's a coach. He's a coach.
coach
He's a coach at
on the
LFG.
LFG. And then because he's got so much pull since he rode off into the sunset with his career, his wife is going to be, they're kicking out Mickey James and putting his wife, Michelle McCool, in the second season of LFG. Do you
They
know
did
that?
kick out Mickey James, right? I did hear about that and kicking her out.
Because Undertaker has so much pull
Still
because he rode
does.
off into the
Even
sunset.
even without Vince McMahon there, still has that pull.
Well, yeah, I mean, aren't they?
I
Oh,
think
was
because
it
he's a loyalist.
e-
He's a loyalist, right? Mickey James left
even
TNA, did all that stuff, so maybe that's what it is.
even him and his wife are surprised Triple H to put him in the Hall of Fame, and even Michelle McCool is being put into the Hall of Fame this year. Just can we just make it the Undertaker and Triple H show and Michelle McCool show already? Like, it's ridiculous.
Why
It's
not?
ridiculous. The nepotism. Stop sucking each other off.
The Undertaker, bro.
Who
It's the
cares?
Undertaker. The
Who
Undertaker.
cares? Stop sucking each other up and give some spots to people that are deserving. Lex Luger, cool. All right. But who else? Now they want to start doing matches, moments of the year, and they want to put that in the Hall of Fame. Okay, that's cool. Well, what I mean, who else are you going to put in there? You're acting like there's nobody else still alive that you can't put in the Hall of Fame.
They're putting the natural disasters, Michelle McCool.
They still
Triple
haven't announced
H.
natural disaster yet.
There he did. Triple H
They
did.
did not.
He sent the tweet. Look at it. Pretty up. Yeah, he did. You just don't
If
pay
I
attention.
haven't seen it on Raw and SmackDown, then it's not official, sir.
Shut the fuck up.
Seriously,
They use social
show it-
media, dude. They use social media a lot, clearly. They use it a lot. And there's too much wrestling to fucking announce natural disasters, earthquake and,
Dude,
and
then why
tugboat.
why did they show the video
Typhoon.
vignette of Cody going to go see Lex Luger to let him know that he was getting it there with DDP?
Because
There's too much
It's Cody
wrestling.
Rhodes.
Shut up.
It's Cody Rhodes.
Shut
It's Cody
up.
Rhodes.
It's Cody Rhodes. Yeah, because it was dad, right? Oh, my dad wanted to do it, but he ain't here.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And DDP. That's why. It's a big thing. It's called publicity, brother. What it is. It's a business. It's not a friendship. It's not a wrestling friendship. It's a wrestling business.
So full of shit.
You should know. You're a manager. It's about business. It's about standing on business.
Full of shit.
You're just a hater and you have your opinions. And hey, that's the beauty of wrestling. We all get to have our opinions about what's what and why things happened or why didn't happen. You're a CM Punk lover. Why did he leave? Why you have all these excuses for him? And sure, a lot of them are valid, but it's just an opinion. That's all it is, or what you read, or what you heard. Just like me, what I read
They
or what
still
I
haven't
heard.
put it out. I'm still not seeing it yet. Looking over here. Nope. Nothing yet.
It's on there, buddy.
They'd rather have Stone Cold and Bret Hart's match go into the Hall of Fame before anybody else.
I mean, that's more important
Put it
than
in the
natural
Hall of Fame.
disasters. I ain't gonna lie. I would take that match over. That's a fucking phenomenal match. WrestleMania 13. Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Why would you put a match? That's so stupid.
I think that's just the evolution of things. It was bound to happen. They have a lot of. Was this WrestleMania 42? Like, it's a lot of time. There's a lot of years for
40,
having
41.
41. So 41 years of WrestleMania. A match was bound to get in there at some point. They have a wing for Hall of Fame or celebrity guests. They have a wing for.
They haven't even announced a
Ultimate
celebrity
Warrior.
guest yet either. Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? But that's what wrestling is about. It's just opinions, right? Like that stupid actress said. You know the outcome ahead of time. That's what it is. Smart marks, right? Smart marks.
Yeah.
Smart marks. But regardless,
Way to leave a bitter taste and a downward angle for the show, Randy. Great job.
well, I'm not here to raise you up. I'm here to bring you down to my level.
Well, I'd rather be on top of the ant pile than underneath the lake, you sir. But you know what? That does it for us for another episode, and then we're glad you guys came to check it out, tuned in, and see what was going on because we love talking wrestling, and WrestleMania season is here, and Undertaker's always been a big part. Love him, hate him, love the streak, hate the streak, love who's been fighting against him, love who never won, got to beat him. But guess what? We wanted to talk about it with you guys tonight, and I'm glad you tuned in. We are glad you tuned in, and we're gonna do it again like we usually do on Thursday nights. We go live on Twitch. We put it out on all the socials. Catch us on all the socials.
No, wait. Since we're talking about Undertaker, go ahead and hit that tombstone on that subscribe and follow button right there. You know, gotta hit it. Hit the tombstone.
There you go.
The dead man. But
there you go.
Like Fern said, we appreciate you tuning in another episodic series of Beyond the Ropes, talking about WrestleMania season and the Undertaker streak. I mean, catch us live Thursday night when we discuss more wrestling, the upcoming pay-per-view for AEW Dynasty, the match card that's building up for that. And of course, we're on the road to WrestleMania. We'll keep on discussing more stuff that is happening between John Cena, Cody Rhodes, the women's championships, and how that's playing out and how the matches are progressing. And we'll go from there because this is, again, a great time to be a wrestling fan.
You're damn right. Hit the music. It's our last ride. We'll see you Thursday.
Woo!